Welcome back to Test the Nation, the National 2002 Test Part 2. Yes, it's time now for the moment of reckoning, and here are the people with all the answers. Please welcome back your hosts, Anne Robinson and Philip Schofield.
Terrific amount of excitement here in the studio. We're on a high waiting for the results to come in from all over the country. It's a bit like the general election, except it's a million times more interesting. I'll be handing out the answers very, very shortly, and then the real point scoring can begin at home.
Now, don't worry if you haven't been taking part in the test. There's still masses of fun to be had as we review the year's events and see exactly how much everyone has remembered.
If you've been playing online, you're very, very clever. You'll already have your score, but the rest of Britain is about to catch up.
Now, reaction here has been intense. We've witnessed some very mixed emotions. One of the rugby players is beside himself because he thought that Robert Mugabe played for Wigan. But quite simply, this has been the biggest interactive test of the year's events, and early results indicate that literally millions of people have taken part. So congratulations to all of you. Groups here in the studio are eagerly awaiting. Find out how they've done. Well, some of them are anyway. It's like one of those sort of multiplex cinema things here. It's, well, we've got Meet the Parents over here. We've got Kevin and Perry, Go Large. Over here, of course, is Shampoo. Competing with Taxi Driver. Got Working Girl over here. Of course, This Sporting Life. Come on!
The rivalries are really intense. Believe me, if the taxi drivers have done badly, they'll all be walking home tonight. And playing along and adding to their expert insight are our two sort of dashing panellists. That's the Mirror editor, Piers Morgan, who's incredibly good-looking, and political commentator, John Sargent. Perception and insight being, of course, their middle names. What do you think of the test so far, John?
I think it's been incredibly difficult, actually. I think people can easily do well on perhaps 3 or 4 sections, but to do well on all of them,
actually,
I think is going to be very difficult.
You've had a chance to chat to people, lots of your readers here?
Oh, masses of them, yeah.
In which section?
Oh, I think cabbies, secretaries.
He knows how to get a chair.
Rugby players, hairdressers, teenagers, parents, celebrities. They all read the Mirror. Thank you.
Money on the winners? Have you got money on the winners? Come on.
Well, I can't believe the rugby players are winning. It's certainly changed all preconceptions
quickly,
about them.
Piers.
All preconceptions. My money's on the cabbies.
Okay. I'm with Giles here, who's following the progress of the players on the internet, aren't you?
I am indeed.
What's the news so far?
We've got a figure for you at last. It's 21,512 have played on the net.
Okay.
Over here in a state of mental exhaustion after all their labours, as well as remembering the news. Some of them have actually made the news this year, of course. Steve, you have done unbelievably well. You got your 4th gold medal. Hoping for a 5th?
Hope for a 5th? Crikey, that seems a long way away. 4 years. The Olympics is before that, and I think that's more important. Athens 2004, that's in the forefront of the mind.
But you wouldn't be like the guy that we showed the clip of earlier on.
I hope not.
Never
if
get
I did
to
that,
that
I'd
stage.
be shameful.
How do you think the younger viewers have done, Connie?
I don't know. Very well, I hope.
How do...
I think they've done extremely well.
Teenagers yelling over there.
Sure.
And what about you? How do you think you've done?
Oh, I think I was pretty ropey on the old sport, but, you know, you can't win them all, eh?
No, absolutely not. And Mark, you were deprived of news in the Big Brother house. Do you think that's sort of hampered you this evening?
It's a good excuse to have.
Will you be using that excuse?
Yes, probably.
Yes, all right. Well, we can't wait to find out how they've got on. Let's be honest, we can't wait to find out how how they've got on. They don't want to know how they've got on. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Soon find out if they spend all their time living the high life in nightclubs or swilling champagne, or whether they live the real world as well. We'll soon find out. Annie.
OK, this is the bit we've all been waiting for. Good luck to everyone who's been playing at home and to our studio audience. It is now time to give you the answers in Test the Nation, the National 2002 test. OK, first the news section. Now, we began with some of the biggest stories of the year. Here are the answers. Question 1. What approximately was the euro worth after it was officially launched in January? And the answer, C, 62 pence. The euro, of course, signalled the end of no fewer than 12 European currencies. Question 2. This year's A-level fiasco ultimately led to the resignation of which government minister? The answer is B, Estelle Morris. The teenagers know that. Around 20,000 teenagers had their exam papers incorrectly marked, costing some of them their university places. But for once, the cabinet minister put her hands up and said she was wrong, she'd made a mistake. Question 3. What disrupted the run-up to the Golden Jubilee concerts at Buckingham Palace? Did we get this? The answer, D. A heater caught fire in the palace. Luckily, the firemen's industrial action hadn't started, so no corgis with singed coats running around the grounds. Question 4. The name of the oil tanker that sank off Spain this year, potentially causing one of the world's biggest environmental disasters. Very quiet studio here. The answer, A. Wow. Prestige. It sank with 70,000 tonnes of fuel aboard. Question 5. During the Queen's mother's lying in state, one royal didn't take part in the vigil round her coffin. Who was it? The answer, C. Peter Phillips. Those who did take part were her grandsons Prince Charles, Prince Edward, Prince Andrew and Viscount Linley. And they are the answers to the first section.
So, how did you do? Did you get those all right, Jeremy? How did you do? We'd expect you to do very well.
I got the euro one wrong.
Did you?
Yeah, 70
do you know
something.
There's one of you here that got 100%.
But it wasn't me.
No. Who do you think it is? Who got 100%? Well, you'll know.
No, it wasn't. No.
Mark thinks he got 100%. Well done.
Oh!
Charlie, 100%. At the moment, as it stands, the leading group is the rugby players!
Who would have thought it? Right. Section 2 tested your knowledge of where 5 major events took place in the world. The answers. Question 6. In which country were a group of British plane spotters found guilty but later acquitted of espionage? The answer is D, Greece. Some people, of course, felt anyone sad enough to have plane spotting as a hobby. If they didn't need arresting, they certainly needed to be put on medication. Question 7. Which European city's zoo had to be evacuated in August because of massive floods? The answer, A, Prague. The biggest movement of animals since Noah. Question 8. Which city hosted the 2002 World Summit, which opened in August? The answer, D, Johannesburg. They talked for days and finally agreed to meet again next year. OK, question 9. In which US state were 9 miners rescued after being trapped in a flooded mine shaft for more than 3 days? Answer B, Pennsylvania. One of the rescued miners was reported to have said that he'd never known such a cold and soulless place, but he'd obviously never been in the Big Brother house. Is that right, Mark?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you. Yeah. OK, question 10. Which British town was the epicentre of an earthquake in September, measuring 4.8 on the Richter scale? The answer, D, Dudley. This was the largest quake to hit Britain in 10 years and was even felt as far away as London. And they are the answers to the second set. Philip, have you been making the earth move for anyone recently?
I've shaken a couple of times, yeah, perhaps. Not going to tell you, though. Piers, do people get their news now from newspapers or from television or from other areas?
Oh, I think that intelligent people get their news from the Daily Mirror. And I think socially dysfunctional, illiterate misfits get it from The Sun. And everybody else gets it from television, probably. No, I think to be serious, I think that it's changing more towards television, but newspapers in this country are still a huge part of people's lives, as is gossip.
Why do we love gossip?
People love gossip because they just love... I want to know all about Mark Owen. I don't know why. I wake up in the morning, I want to know what he's been doing. It makes me a very odd person, but there are millions like me, and Jeremy Bowen. I know what he's up to, and it's brilliant. And even Fiona Bruce, you can't imagine there's anything about her, but I know a dossier about this thing. It's absolutely amazing stuff.
We'll talk later.
Do you miss standing outside in the rain, John?
Not totally, no. I miss the sympathy vote. I rather like the idea that it was kind of victim television. And people would think, well, there must be something there. He must know something if he's being put in these horrible conditions night after night. And little old ladies would write saying they would knit me scarves and things like that. So that was sort of nice. I miss that bit of it. But I don't miss working 12-hour days, 15-hour days, ending at 10:30 at night.
There has been a change of position for first place. The rugby players are now in second place. In first place, the celebs!
We don't want the celebs winning, please. OK, one more news section, then we'll take a...